So let's talk about watering. I just showed you in a video how hard and dry the ground was, okay? And in one of my last videos, I mentioned that we need 1.5 inches of water once a week in the morning, every week here in the Mid-Atlantic, okay? So for all you people who said, well, I didn't need to water because we got a little bit of rain, this is the kind of rain that you need, okay? Every week for 1.5 hours in the morning, a downpour for 1.5 hours. Now, if we had this for 1.5 hours every week in the morning, once a week in the Mid-Atlantic during the growing season, well, then these plants would be absolutely healthy and you'd never have to water. But if you're not getting this kind of rain, a downpour, for 1.5 hours, then a little bit of rain, a little bit of sporadic rain, some sprinkling, some drizzle, it rained over here, it rained over there, isn't enough. This is the kind of rain that we need once a week for 1.5 hours, a downpour. This is proper rain to water your plants. So, hope that answers the watering question. And this is some rain that we certainly needed. And before we do a replay of Groundhog Day, out here with my golf club on the golf course, getting struck by lightning, let's head back inside. You shouldn't ever spray herbicides when it's over 96 degrees. And that's the result. And we have some southern warm season Bermuda grass there. So I might ask, how did southern warm season Bermuda grass get all the way up here in Pennsylvania? Herbicides, fungicides, weed control. Don't ever be putting down fertilizer or weed control when temperatures are in excess of 96 degrees. On that note, turf grass in most plants, but specifically monocots, turf grass, northern cool season tall fescue, wide bladed Kentucky bluegrass, not the small fine stuff, isn't actively growing unless it's over 70 degrees. And on that same note, turf grasses start to go into dormancy when temperatures are above 96 degrees. So if you have a mowing company that is out there mowing your turf and it hasn't grown above 3.5 inches, they shouldn't be mowing your turf. Your turf is going into dormancy to save itself. It's retaining its moisture down into the root systems and the crowns of the plant so that it doesn't die a month from now in August. And we are going to start seeing a lot of stress on these northern lawns. I'm seeing it already. Now granted, I've been looking at the ground for almost 30 years, but all this rain everyone's talking about, that ground is dry, hard, rock hard, and that grass is already going into dormancy. If you can see that yellow hue, which means even the smallest thing like driving a truck over it will stress it out, easily break the leaves off of the crown, and hopefully the plant survives. We just had a nice thunderstorm blow through here. It barely touched Gettysburg though, and I'm finally out for a walk. What the tin pan says, using the knuckle rule. So my tin pan here is telling me that that is 1 inch of rain at least. Most people's digits on their hands, each section of your digits is about an inch. So most people, on the average, their index fingers are about 3 inches. So what my tin pan tells me is we got over an inch. Woke back up and it was blowing and raining and really coming down. And this is really some rain that we needed. Inch and a half on your lawns. Inch and a half, which equates to an hour and a half every week, once a week, is proper watering for your lawns. Right down there. Who invests in your lawn, invests in lawn care, make sure that your lawns are getting that hour and a half of watering in the morning once a week. Simple stuff. But don't ever think that a little bit of rain is ever enough for your lawns or for your plants, because usually it's not. Unless you're measuring it with a rain gauge, you know, don't guess. But what we need is a downpour for an hour and a half every week, which we just had. Which a lot of people, what I'm getting at is a lot of people over the past couple of months have said, oh, you know, we've had enough rain here, we've had enough rain there, but it hasn't been consistent, widespread, and downpours for an hour and a half. It's been inconsistent, it's been sporadic. In some areas it has rained, some areas it hasn't. So if you're somebody who invests in your property, in your landscaping, in your horticulture, in your turf, make sure that all of that is getting a proper amount of water.